What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the R&B podcast. This is your boy Ian.
Manny, back again. Episode number
8.
8?
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Episode number 8. I was honestly completely lost. Shit. All right. So today is a continuation of last week's episode a bit. Kind of dating, relationship oriented. What are some turnoffs and turn-ons for you, Ian? Like, what's something that either does it in a bad way or a negative way, or in a good way?
For me, probably one of the biggest turnoffs, a female gets super wasted. So
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever had that instance of when you went on a date or, whoever that, the girl that you were, with, which just got super plastered. But I had that happen to me one time. And ever since then, it's just whenever I see a girl that does that, basically, it's just a turn off like that.
Yeah.
But to kind of go into more detail on that, basically, the story about that is the girl I was talking to at the time. She was out with her friends, right? I don't know if she was at the clubs, but they were at the bars, I know for sure, getting drinks. And by the end of the night, she came back to my house, and I was completely sober. And she came in super drunk, and so I was like, okay, for sure, like that's fine. Gave her some water, put her to bed. Thought it was just gonna be like a normal drunk where she just comes in and passes out, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I hear
shit.
I hear movement on my bed, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on? And I see she's like upright in this upright position on my bed.
Oh.
And once I saw that, I was like, oh fuck, like I just knew what was gonna happen next. So
Sounds
she just
so bad.
yaks all over my bed, projectile vomits, bro. Like it was bad, and it was like at least like a minute of just straight yak on my bed.
Wait, what time was this at roughly?
It was roughly like 3 a.m, I think.
So then, actually, what happened after that? Like,
So
where did you guys sleep or what?
Well, okay, so basically what happened after, she yaks all over my bed, right? And then she just completely falls back asleep.
Ugh.
Like nothing happened.
On the same bed?
On the same bed. And I was like, oh, fuck. So basically I couldn't leave the yak there. So I had to like clean up the yak. I got like paper towels. I got like leftover like towels in our like closet.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of those and shit ton of paper towels. And I just basically had to clean up my bed, basically like carry the yak out. I had a trash can. I would like wipe that shit, like throw it in there, dude. It was disgusting, bro. Like,
that's so gross.
I was literally cleaning like this. I was like my head was away from the bed, and I had to like grab as much paper towels and towels I could.
Yeah.
Eventually, like I got that shit all, and then I had like, I forgot if it was like Clorox, like bleach or so. I had like some.
You just sprayed that shit?
Yeah. So I sprayed it. I also had dishwash soap. I used some of that. I basically used anything I could find in my room, like that was remotely clean. That was, for cleaning purposes, and I just used everything. So I used the Clorox bleach like spray. I used dishwasher soap.
And this was all while she was asleep.
This was all while she was still asleep.
Damn.
And bro, I was like, fuck it. It took me like an hour, bro, to make that shit presentable, right?
Oh my god.
And majority of the smell did go away, but you could, you still smell that lingering smell.
A bit.
Yeah. And so I was like, bruh, fuck. And then, I ended up sleeping like next to her still on the same bed, because all the yak was on her side, not my side of the bed.
Makes sense.
But yeah, so basically I cleaned all that shit up. Was probably like the most grossest thing ever, just because of, I didn't have anything to like cover my nose, and I just had to take in the whole fucking smell of it, which was probably the worst part. And the next morning, she just wakes up like, nothing happens. And I told her the situation, and she was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so sorry. But the thing that really pissed me off the most was that she didn't offer to clean my sheets.
Like, she didn't even say, like, oh, I'll clean it when I get back.
No. So she had work, and she just said, oh, I'm so sorry. I got to get to work. Just dips to work. And then I was like, okay, well, why didn't you like offer at least to like clean my sheets,
Yeah.
But she never offered. She never ended up cleaning the sheets. I just ended up having to wash it, took to the nearest laundromat, and I cycled that shit twice.
Yeah.
But that's probably, ever since that instance, that is just a huge turn off for me.
Yeah.
It's just when it comes to, someone you're talking to just gets blacked out drunk, and on top of that, not being accountable for your actions while being blacked out drunk.
Yeah.
It could have been a different story if she was accounted for. Like she was like, oh, I'm sorry, I'll clean it for you, I'll do all that shit. But nah, she didn't offer any of that shit. So there's that. And then I guess a more obvious answer of a turnoff would be if they have a shitty ass personality.
Yeah.
So if it's just terrible person, obviously, I mean, I'm assuming most fucking guys would agree, right? You don't want a fucking girlfriend with a shitty ass personality. That's like the worst. But that kind of goes into my question. So for you have a girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
What would you say would matter most when it comes to, even I guess generally when it comes to like, you know, for people who are single, like getting a girlfriend, and for you personally,
okay,
what's better, personality or looks? What's more important?
What's more important?
Yeah.
Do I have to pick one or the other?
You have to pick one
or the other.
I have to
pick one or the other. Fuck.
Okay, I guess here. Let me
honestly.
Oh, you go. Yeah, go. And then I'll give an example of.
Okay.
Of one too.
Let me. I'll make a decision first, and then then you can give me an example. Yeah. I'd say, if I had to choose one, I'd choose personality.
Okay.
Personality versus looks, because let's say, if this girl just like sucks, like she looks good but she sucks. What if I just can't stand her after like the first few days or something? Yeah, but then like if the looks aren't as like good but she has a good personality, it's like, oh shit, that's someone you can hang out with every day, have a good conversation with. So if I had to choose one, I'd say personality.
Okay, let me give you an example then, so you could visualize the type of, you know, girl I'm talking about. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So the first is she looks like Scarlett Johansson, bombshell, right? Her personality though is of Amber Heard. So shitty ass personality. Or girl number 2, personality of Selena Gomez. Cause I'm assuming she had a great personality, never had any drama. Everyone loves her. Like she's a well-known human being. So her personality, but she looks like the comedian Amy Schumer.
Fuck, that makes
could be a stretch on the comedian part, but yeah.
Yeah, shit. Oh, that's a tough one.
Like if you had those two girls, like which one would you pick?
Damn.
Because I feel like, yeah, you could say personality, but like looks have to come in some sort of play, right?
Yeah, when you put it that way and you could like visualize it, fuck, it makes it so much harder. Honestly, in that case, I'd have to flip it. I'd say looks. At this point, I'd have to flip it and say looks.
Would you choose Scarlett Johansson with the personality of Amber Heard?
I'd just have to go with it. Shit,
I might have to as well. Like I might have to second that because I don't know, man. Amy Schumer is, I don't know, bruh.
Yeah,
I think the first one, like
personality can't carry that much.
Yeah, like
shit.
Like Amber Heard, you're probably gonna, she's probably gonna do some fuck shit to you, you know. But fuck, if she looks like Scarlett Johansson, I might have to just like thug it out. I'm not gonna lie.
Shit. Yeah, honestly,
I might have to just like take it, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
In that case, yeah, Scarlett Johansson, Amber Heard personality. That's what I'm gonna go with. We agree on that.
Yeah. So I would have to say, yeah. I mean, it's just, I just was curious because I know a lot of people like out there, like, you know, are like big on personality, which I do get, but I just think, you know, if you're picturing like what someone looks like and personality, I feel like a lot of people would not choose the
personalities. Yeah.
I mean, it just really depends, like, because looks, I feel like playing a part a lot.
Yeah. If you put it into perspective like that, it makes a big old difference. So, shit.
But fuck, I just thought that was a funny question. But yeah, I mean, you know, you're in a relationship. Kind of want to go more into that. I know we kind of touched up on it last episode.
Yeah.
But I guess my first question is, since you and your girlfriend are, you know, 2 different ethnicities, how is it being an interracial couple in this day and age?
Honestly, I feel like in this day and age, it's not as uncommon.
Right.
So that is true. It's not crazy, but I still think it's funny as fuck, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, like, I'm Mexican, I'm pretty dark, right? She's Southeast Asian.
Wait, like, are you saying it's funny that people like see you as like a not well-known couple, or?
No, I think it's more like I think it's funny from my like when I think about it because I'm just wondering like what do these people think like what are these people thinking about us two being together?
Right.
Are they thinking like what the fuck? How did this fucking Mexican ass dude end up with this Asian chick?
I mean, there's a lot of Asian and Mexican couples like with Filipinos and Mexicans in general.
Yeah, true. Well, my girl is Thai and Lao. But she's super pale. Like she's super pale. Like you would not guess she's Thai because I mean Thai people from what I've seen are typically on like the darker side a bit. Right, yeah. But yeah, no, it's like me being dark Mexican. Right, she's light. Yeah. Thai, Lao. It's like I just think it's kind of funny from. Or it would be funny in my opinion from the outside looking in.
I think that combo is kind of rare. I don't think. I've seen a lot of Mexicans with like pale Asians. Yeah. Like honestly, you don't really see a couple of, like that's Mexican and Southeast Asians. Yeah. Like, I don't think I've really seen that quite often actually.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've seen it either. I feel like the ones that I've seen, at least like on social media, it's like a lighter complexion Hispanic person with like a lighter complexion Asian or a darker complexion Hispanic and darker complexion Asian. Yeah. Not mixed really. Shit. Mixing the colors around shit. Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's what we are. I just think it's kind of funny, or I'd assume it's funny from the outside looking in. But I mean that's just part of it. There's also different foods. Like yeah, I get to try a bunch of different food from her culture. She tries food from my culture. From my culture, my girlfriend likes the mole. The
mole? I've had mole before. That's fire, bro.
I brought you some mole from my mom.
That's that dark shit, right?
Yeah, it's like the dark like paste, or I don't know how to call it. It's like a sauce.
Isn't it like chocolate in there?
They do put chocolate in there, actually.
Because I know there's like a little sweet component to it.
Yeah, they do put chocolate. It might be weird for all the people out there that are listening to this. I like to add sugar to mine. Yeah. Honestly, like whenever people give me some mole, if I'm at home, of course, like I'll add some sugar. I'm not going to ask for it like at somebody else's crib. Yeah. That'd be kind of weird. Yeah. But yeah, no, like my girlfriend likes mole. She likes my mom's enchiladas. Enchiladas. I know there's people out there that hate on Mexicans that say certain words in English, or like people that say like like tortillas. Like, what do you mean?
Tortillas?
Yeah, it's tortilla. I say it typically in the English fucking pronunciation, but yeah. And then for her food, like I like lap. It's spelled larb.
Like WAP?
Yeah, a little bit. Shit. It's lap.
Sorry, it's just that's just like the first word I came up with.
It's shit. It's pretty good.
What is it? Is it like noodles or is it like rice?
It's like ground meat. It could be whatever you want. It could be like beef. It could be chicken. Or shit. I'm assuming there's like pork too. But it's like ground chicken. They add cilantro. With Mexicans, we have a shit ton of cilantro in our food, so it's kind of similar in taste. Then they add onions and I think some sort of seasoning. But I fucking love it.
So it's like there's no carbs in that dish. It's just mainly like meat.
No, it's basically just.
Is it just because of like the seasoning that's like different?
I think I just like it because it's just hella meat. Okay. Like it's just like. I don't know, like who doesn't like a good steak, you know?
No, yeah. I was just like kind of, I was trying to compare in my mind of like what it could be or what it's similar to. Yeah. But it just sounds like a meat dish.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. And then on the side they give you, it'll be either cabbage or lettuce, and then you just kind of scoop it up and just eat it like that.
Okay, now I think I'm picturing like what it is. Okay.
It's pretty good. Yeah. And then another thing that was funny. Were pretty cool. Yeah. The first time my girlfriend met my family, actually, she came over, and I think it was for Christmas, and it was a bunch of my family, and they were drinking mezcal. You've had mezcal, right?
Yeah, mezcal's fire, bro.
Yeah, honestly,
do you like mezcal?
I'm not really a fan of it myself.
Really?
Yeah,
Why?
like the smoky taste.
Bro, that's what's fire. What are you talking about,
bro?
Bro, that shit's fire. Like I remember the first time I had mezcal was like with this like steak steak dinner,
Oh,
and
shit.
I just had it like on the side, bro. That shit's fire as fuck.
That sounds good.
Because of the
Shit, like-
smokiness of like the alcohol, it goes
To go
really
with the
well.
meat, yeah, with the steak.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a
fucking
good
love
combo.
mezcal.
Not gonna cap, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like we have mezcal at like a lot of our family parties, so to me it's just normal. It's like nothing special. I kind of grew up with it, so I don't know. I'm kind of over it myself. And like for alcohols, I typically prefer light tequila. Like I typically prefer lights, and mezcal is typically like on the darker end.
side,
Yeah. So first time my girl met my family, they gave her mezcal, and she had Asian glow. So I think it might have been the first time my family ever saw anybody with Asian glow. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because they wouldn't have known.
Yeah. No, my hometown's very Mexican.
Yeah,
It's like 90% Mexican.
Really?
Yeah, dude. Like my high school, there was probably like 10% other, being like
fuck.
anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
dude.
goddamn.
It's crazy, or maybe a little bit more, maybe like 20%. But it's
No, that's still
hella Mexican.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, but
shit.
yeah, no, I was like, it was cool. It was funny. I don't know if she likes it. I don't think she likes mezcal.
How many shots did you take before she got Asian glow?
Maybe like 2.
2. God damn,
Yeah,
2.
Maybe like 2.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So that was that.
Yeah.
But another thing with that same situation, another thing that comes with being in an interracial couple is sometimes there's a language barrier. Like a lot of my family,
that makes sense. Yeah.
A lot of my family mainly speaks Spanish.
Right.
And
probably heard like, was it Taiwanese or like Lao?
Yeah,
Is
Thai, Lao, but a lot of her family speaks English.
Oh,
so
okay.
so it's not really a language barrier with me and her family. It's her
Vice
and my
versa?
family. Yeah,
I
it's her
see,
and
I
my
see.
family. So then at times it's kind of awkward. Like I don't know if you've ever seen anybody interact with like someone that they're not able to talk to.
Yeah,
If
it's very awkward. I think I had that same situation too on like my distant family, my distant relative in Korea. Like they are all just fluent Korean, and they don't really speak English at all. And my Korean is like whatever. It's like not the greatest, but
it's fucking shitty.
It's not the worst. But like I could just feel like we would communicate, but we wouldn't be able to have those full on conversations. So it's like, oh, I'd say something, and she's like, oh yeah, and it's kind of like basic conversation from like one to another. But you can't really go like full in detail and like express yourself, that kind of shit. She doesn't know any like Spanish at all, right? Your girl?
No, she like understands it a bit because she grew up in Miami. Actually, she grew up in Miami, so they speak a lot of Spanish out there. But the thing is, Spanish in Miami is more like Puerto Rican, Dominican, like Caribbean, I guess, Spanish versus Mexican Spanish is a little different. So she can understand it a bit, but she just can't speak it. So then at times it's like whenever they say anything, it's just kind of like a awkward, like yeah.
Right.
But it's like,
fuck, is that like every time?
Typically,
it has to be, right?
not really, just because typically my girlfriend just waits for me to translate before she like reacts or anything, or before she says anything. But I have seen a lot of cases where it's like two people trying to communicate with different languages, and it's just awkward because then it's like one person says something, the other person laughs, but they don't know what the fuck they said,
or they can't like speak it back.
I think it's funny.
But I can see that makes sense. Like I could see why also like the older generation would they love to have the same speaking language, like you going out with the same speaking language. I know for me, like my grandma, she's super old school, super traditional. She wants me to just have a Korean girlfriend, like that's it, like I mean she's not really open for me to have other people, like me dating other people, but I guess it kind of makes sense because she wants to be able to communicate with like my girlfriend. And obviously if she's not Korean, then it's gonna be a little bit harder. It might be like that same situation. That little awkwardness in between where you can't really like fully communicate with one another. So I guess now it kind of makes sense of why the older generation is more fond of us going after staying within the culture.
Honestly, for my family, like my mom, I think wanted me to date a Mexican, just because she has like Mexican ideals, right? Like,
Right.
oh, like I don't even eat tortillas that often anymore, but my mom would always be like, "Oh, you have to get yourself a Mexican so she can make you tortillas." And it's like, bro, I don't really care if my girlfrian could make me tortillas or not.
Yeah. That's exactly what my grandma would say. Like,
yeah,
oh, you gotta get a Korean so she can make you like all these Korean, like she can make you kimchi and shit. And I'm like, I mean, I would be fire, but like, I don't know if I'm gonna like seclude myself on one ethnicity.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Like, I would always tell my mom growing up, like, "Oh, I'm gonna get this race. I'm gonna get this race. I'm gonna get this race." I basically kind of trained her to like. No, like, okay, I'm probably not gonna end up with a Mexican,
Right. Right.
But yeah, so when I came home, with an Asian girlfriend, my mom was kind of like, at first she was like, really, but then she was like, okay, like,
right.
Because I had been saying it for so long that
so you kind of put like the seeds.
Yeah, I like
seeds?
always told her like I wasn't gonna end up with a Mexican basically,
Right.
and
so
I mean I don't know like shit.
How long did it take her to like get used to like you having like an Asian girlfriend? Was it like
know.
super quick or was it just kind of like?
I say it was fairly quick. Yeah, it was just like. I mean,
So
what is she gonna do?
What would you think if like you didn't plant the seeds? Would she be like super like shocked about it or?
I feel like maybe. Honestly, I feel like she maybe would have been like more surprised for longer,
right?
Because it's just like a curve. It would have been a curveball.
Yeah. No, I think it's smart because I think for sure like if my grandma found out, because I also planted seeds too, of like. You know, I'm not going to be secluded to like one ethnicity. Yeah. But definitely if I didn't tell her anything or didn't like update her, plant any seeds, like, and I just showed up with like, you know, a non-Korean girl, like she might even be mad, honestly. Like that's how traditional my grandma is.
Damn.
And like, you know, obviously she likes to keep the Korean bloodline going. And yeah. So, I mean, I feel like that's good that you planted the seeds like beforehand.
Yeah. I feel like, I don't know. In my family, I don't know if anyone would have ever gotten mad, but like a lot of people are even still to this day whenever they see us like, oh, what the hell, like,
right?
Like
there's
at
still
family
like
parties,
like
at family parties, like you could definitely tell, like people are like, what, like,
right.
what are they doing here, like, it's like, oh, that's my girlfriend,
right.
So it's like, yeah, but there's that, and then also just within ourselves, within my girlfriend and I, like, we just have different views on things sometimes, so that's also. One thing about like being an interracial couple.
So does those like different viewpoints that you guys have, does that cause like a lot of like arguments?
Ooh.
Like how many?
Honestly,
how much different are they?
Not really. It doesn't really cause too many arguments, but it does cause more. I'd say like interesting conversations within ourselves. Like, oh shit, like what do you think about this? Right. Like, oh, well, what do you think about that?
Is it because like the culture is so different between you two, and like that's where the different viewpoints come in, or is it just like?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, but it doesn't really ever cause like arguments. Right. I'd say. Right. But shit, I don't know. I wouldn't say we've had any arguments because of our viewpoints, but it's interesting. And if there is any argument, all it really comes down to is shit. I don't know, communication. Yeah. Like. In general, like for any relationship, not even just interracial couples, I'd say main thing is going to be just talk it out. Like just figure out what is causing your significant other to react a certain way.
Yeah. Makes sense. Communication is key. Shit.
Yeah. Communication. And what else? I don't know. I feel like, have you seen my girlfriend and I argue a lot? Or have you seen us?
Yeah, I mean... I've definitely seen you guys argue at like clubs and shit, like when we were going out.
Really?
Yeah, and I've also seen like couple.
Actually, yeah, I could think of some examples.
I mean, I could think of a lot of like you guys, but it's also like other couples in our friend group as well. Yeah. Kind of looking at this like the single perspective, it's just like it's very awkward. Like I'm not gonna lie, especially when alcohol's involved. Like if it was normal, like if we weren't drinking and you guys argued about something, that's. For some reason, when I'm sober, it's just not that bad. Like, I'm just like, oh, okay, like, they're arguing about something that's fine.
Like regular couple things?
Yeah, but for some reason, like, when there's, like, alcohol involved and, like, you know, you guys are arguing at, like, a club, bar, or, you know, if we're all drunk, that shit just, like, it feels so awkward for me on my side. And, like, a lot of,
like, what do I do?
A lot of our single friends, like, we always, like, we all band together. We're just like, bro, like, oh, fuck, this is awkward as shit. And, like, yeah, it always sometimes it like kills the mood depending on like what the situation is.
I mean, honestly, I agree though. Like seeing someone argue like especially when drinking, that shit kills a mood for sure.
Yeah. That shit's the worst, I think. Whenever there's alcohol involved, it's just because after that, you can't go back. Like, the vibes can't go back at all.
Yeah.
Like, the vibes are straight ruined after.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, you know how you mentioned that like all the single people band together, like, oh fuck, like to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like me and my girlfriend, if there's another couple arguing, like me and my girlfriend will talk about it. Like, fuck, like they're probably over here ruining the mood for everybody. Like they're ruining the mood for us too.
Yeah.
So I don't even like to see like other relationships like argue at all either. Like it's annoying.
I think it's the worst part because a lot of times it's when there's alcohol involved. Yeah. It's literally over something like so small. Or like it's just like if we were all sober, you probably would have hashed it out like in like a couple minutes. Yeah. But I think it's just because everyone's faded, so like everyone's emotions are a little bit like more riled up, and so like when something happens, it's like what could have been, what could have been resolved in like 5 minutes, it's like gonna be resolved till the fucking next day. Yeah. Like.
Yeah. Shit. Honestly, yeah. Arguing in public is fucking annoying. That's why I mean you've seen me maybe like a handful of times. I don't think it happens that often because I try to keep my stuff behind closed doors. Yeah, it's just like why would I want the public to know that we're having an argument?
Yeah, no, so, it's definitely on the single side. It's definitely very awkward.
Yeah,
even seeing that,
even being in a relationship, seeing another couple argue is awkward. Yeah, it's just awkward in general seeing people argue in public. So I try to keep it behind closed doors, communicate. And then basically just try to find a middle ground, like especially let's say if there is something like kind of stirring up throughout the night, to not get it to that like argument in public point of view. It's like, hey, like let's just figure this out later, but like just have fun for now type shit. So just communicate. If anything, over communicate. Because one thing that I learned also was that sometimes if I'm gonna be home a little later than I expected because of work, right? And then my girlfriend was planning on doing something, and for me it was just like, oh, it's fine, like we'll just push it back an hour. Right. But then I don't text her like, hey, I'm gonna be late an hour. Then they're gonna be mad. Yeah. So if anything, just for everybody out there, just over communicate. Not even over communicate with your significant other and with your friends too. Because even as a friend, I feel like let's say if you were going to be an hour later and you didn't tell me, like I'd probably be mad too. Yeah. So shit, a general tip, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, shit. Yeah. I feel like that's like a good thing. Fucking good communication. I know. I feel like a lot of people still struggle with that though, like with communication, because I think, a lot of people are stressed out nowadays. So I don't know. I feel like don't you think it would be kind of hard if, you're both super busy and like, obviously later down your careers, get bigger and bigger. Like, how do you still have that over communication then? Because now it's a little bit easier because, you guys are starting your careers. It's not like you're, CEOs or like you're like owning businesses, whatnot. Yeah. Like, what about those kind of people that are just like super fucking slammed? And, there might be days where they might be like, oh shit, like, I'm sorry, babe, like, I forgot, but I got fucking like 10 different meetings. Like, yeah. Like, how do you like reconcile then? That's a deep question.
That is too deep of a question for me to know yet.
That shit just popped up in my mind, bro.
I don't even know the answer to that. I'm not even at that level yet.
Yeah, because I'm just like that. Because what you're saying, like, it just brought up a thought. Like, obviously, like on our age, our age range,
it's doable.
Over communication is super doable, and it's like it's very easy to say for us because we really don't have a lot of different shit on our plate. Yeah. But just curious on like the older, crowd, if you're in the ages of like 30, 35, I'm assuming then you'll
any age older.
Yeah, or you could be our age and be a fucking CEO still.
Yeah, if you're in a successful position or successful career, like busy career, like what do you guys do to like sort out arguments?
I'm kind of curious. I guess like a hype, like what maybe I think they might do. Obviously like communication's key, right? But I think maybe the best thing is like have like a calendar or have like a preset, of what all your meetings are throughout the week maybe. So like your significant other can like know like when you're free, when you're busy, true. Expect it on that time. I don't know. That's what I think maybe, I feel like once you're older, you should have like calendar set or something to like keep track of fucking all your
Yeah.
shit you're doing.
Cause then I mean,
Because a lot if you don't, like, then your significant other is just gonna be like, like left in the dark if you're like super fucking busy, and it's gonna be hard to communicate, and then she's gonna get mad or he's gonna get mad, like of lack of communication. So
yeah. Now that we're already on this topic, like, I wonder what it's like for if one person is super busy and super like successful, but the other person is like a stay-at-home parent, or like, or they do something where it's more freedom, like they could like do stuff at home. They have a better work-life balance.
Are you saying like if that relationship works better, or if that's?
It's just like I was just wondering like how the hell do they fucking solve their problems? Like,
well, I think
communication.
I think that's probably more easier if like both of them are working like stressful jobs. Because if you have one person, then you have one person that's in charge of the household, that's like taking care of things at home, taking care of the kids, and you don't really necessarily need to know like your significant other like every hour of the day. Yeah. And then I mean at that point I feel like you'll have some kind of understanding of when your husband or wife comes back from work. I feel like that's a lot easier. You don't really need over communication with that, because if it was both of them that was super busy, then you need communication, because you're like, bruh, if you're both out like 24/7, like how the fuck are you gonna know like when the other person's coming back, or if they have extra meetings, or if they have like a something that came up. But if it's just one person in the relationship, then it's a lot easier, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, now that you bring up that point, shit, I would just try to make sure my girlfriend's successful so I could just chill out, Shit.
Be a stay-at-home dad.
It's, to fucking make it less issues,
Yeah.
So if she's stressed, I could be the not stressed person and then help out.
If you're good at nurturing
That's what I'm gonna do.
if you're good at nurturing kids, if you know how to cook, should be good for you.
I'm gonna learn how to cook. Shit.
Comment below if you're in that situation, if you're a lot of shit on your hands, and over communicating might be a little bit hard for you to do. I know some people out there it's hard, and I feel like it should be understandably hard, if you have a lot of stuff on your plate. But I'm single, so obviously I'm looking at my point of view, and I don't really know like the relationship side of things. Right.
I feel like it's
would
not really
you get mad personally if say your girl is like super busy, but she's super busy, like she's like high up there in the company and like so much shit on her plate, but like there's a day where like she's like, oh fuck, like sorry I didn't let you know I'm coming back an hour late. Like, would you be mad at that point, or is it kind of like oh, okay, like that's fine, that's okay? Would you be more understanding?
I mean, shit, I don't know. That's a tough question, just because I feel like I know after a while anyone's gonna get tired. Let's say your significant other does that shit like every week, bro, like once a week. Right. Like eventually you're gonna get tired of it.
Right.
So like I would want to be understanding and be like, okay, like it's fine because you're busy at work. But I know
what if they're like super high in the company though? Like you fucking does that not matter?
Yeah, I mean honestly, shit. If I could just chill at home, she could be doing whatever, be home at whatever time she wants, as long as she's working.
Right. Okay. I know for me, like I think
that's cool for me.
I think for me, I would probably be more understanding the farther along she's at. Yeah. So like if she's like like the lowest level right now, and like the communication's not there, then I'm like, what the fuck, like you're not that busy to not communicate, right? Yeah. But if she's like a fucking CEO or like a lawyer or doctor or some shit, then I'll be like, all right, okay.
There's plenty of fucking excuses.
You're probably fucking doing some hero shit right now that I'm not fucking doing, so I'm not gonna say shit. True. But it just depends on perspective on that shit. So
random thought that just
random thought, but shit. That went on a couple minutes. That ran. Yeah. Basically kind of went to more of the relationship side of things. Yeah. And kind of how, interracial couples are. If you're an interracial couple out there as well, comment below. Comment, what are some pros and cons? What have you guys learned of being an interracial couple? What you can take out of this. And yeah.
Honestly, let us know how your parents reacted if you're in an interracial couple. If this, like, especially if it was like your first interracial couple, like, how was it? Like, it's different. You can relate. It can be different depending on where, like, how you grew up.
Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Like, comment, subscribe,
follow.
Follow our other social media pages. Follow our TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. We're gonna try to be more active on Insta and Twitter. It's just a little bit hard right now because mainly focusing on YouTube and fucking TikTok, but all that's gonna be in the link in the description. So hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you have a great rest of your week. Catch us back on Saturday. Probably gonna go on like the more single side, going out to clubs and shit. Maybe do some like club reviews here in LA. Hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys next time.
Deuces. Peace.